Hey everybody, Tim Dwyer here from South Australia. There is the city of Adelaide, fast becoming an absolute shithole, but it is the city of Adelaide. Guys, a very quick video today. Look, we've got all sorts of craziness going on. Fancy in Australia, the great energy superpower. We've got more oil. We are the third largest in the world of oil. You know, we've got more oil in the ground. We are the third richest in oil in the world. And because of our complacency of people not holding officials to account, we find ourselves in the lunatic position we are in today. Well, that has to stop. That has to stop, and stop with an absolute hit the brakes, smoke out the tires, stop this runaway lunacy. Let me share the screen. I'm going to go around this a little bit differently. Let me bring this up. All righty, now. The good and decent people of Australia. This is your lands. This is your home. This is your future. Because you've got to understand, there is nowhere else to run to. There's nowhere to run to. If we don't fix this, well, the proverbial will hit the fan, and it's pretty close. So if you want this country back, and I mean back to a decent, honest, reliable, productive nation, we've got to unite in ways that we've never done before. Whereas the people living on the land known as Australia now declare that we denounce all and any implied consent given to the corporate Australian Commonwealth and all associated bodies thereof. We, the people, owe absolutely no obedience to any aspect of corporate governance within the landmass known as Australia. And you might ask why. Let me just give you a couple of quick run-throughs as to why we need to turn our back on this lunacy that they call government, that they call parliament, that they call the courts. Let me just explain. It's simple. The entire government system is, state and federal, is corrupt top to bottom. There's dual citizens sitting in Parliament in breach of Section 44, and no one gives a toss. Every sitting member of Parliament has failed to swear the constitutional lawful oath they're in breach of Section 42 of the Constitution, and nobody gives a toss. The judiciary system, what we call the legal system, is corrupt top to bottom. End of story, top to bottom. The Governor-General, right? The Governor-General is a total and absolute fraud. She's just an $800,000 a year auto pen put there to make you, the public, think that there is process. There's not. The level of stupidity of those in office is astounding. The public service must do an interview to find out who has the lowest IQ and hire the lowest IQ in the pool. Now, Australia is an energy superpower in this whole world, but we are energy poor. Why? Because of the lunacy of the public servants, the gutlessness of the politicians, because all they want to do is take the money, right? So when will we, the Australian people, simply just stand up and say, we will not take this anymore? Enough. These terrorist sympathisers have no right to be in the parliament of this country. These three at the top are known communists. Communists, like the entire Labor Party. And the Greens are no better, dual citizenships. And we sit there and go, oh, geez, Tim, well, what can we do? Well, how about we literally just You can stop paying your tax. Oh, yeah, but I got a job. They take it out automatically. Well, if you own your own business, you can simply ask the ATO to give you the lawful definition that they rely on for the word income, produce the evidence that they were created as an act of Parliament, and where in the Australian Tax Act would we find reference to the Australian Tax Office, not to mention the fact that the Australian Tax Office has multiple shareholders. Ask a few questions before you pay them any money. Anyway, moving right along. Look, either we have a bloody constitution, which we had a referendum on a little while back, right, or we don't. Now, if we do, the Constitution says the legislative power, the power to legislate for the Commonwealth shall be vested in the federal Parliament, consists of the Queen or the King, the Senate, a House of Representatives. Now, the Senate and the House none of them have sworn the oath to sit in the office, and which in hereinafter is called the Parliament, or the Parliament of the Commonwealth, not the Parliament of Australia. That is a fraud. That is a con job. That is a criminal cartel organisation destroying your life. I am not a lawful Prime Minister. I'm impersonating a Commonwealth official, and isn't that the bloody truth? And here's the evidence of that, because this dog here, and he is a dog, he's a communist dog and a bastard by birth. Pay attention. Here is the oath out of the Constitution. He had an affirmation, and he should have said, I, Anthony Norman Albanese, do solemnly and sincerely affirm and declare that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Victoria, her heirs and successors, according to law. This is what he actually said. I, Anthony Norman Albanese, which, by the way, is not his birth name, do solemnly and sincerely affirm and declare that I will well and truly serve the Commonwealth of Australia, meaning the corporate Commonwealth, her land and her people, in the office of Prime Minister. Criminal bastard. Criminal bastard in plain sight. No lawful oath, no lawful authority. People say, well, Tim, take it to the High Court. Well, it's a bit hard because the High Court won't hear these arguments. Why not? Because their thing is it'll be too disruptive to society at large. You see, the High Court of Australia, where is the seal that the justices must sit under, the seal of authority? There is none. It's not there. It's evidence that they are just another corporate body within the structures. That's why we're in the shit we're in. And will they protect the very fabric of the Commonwealth, the 1900 UK Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, that protects you and I, the people living on the landmass known of Australia? Or will they protect the corporate groups that have, through deception, fraud and treason, created a republic in fact, if not in name? And will they protect the Parliament of the Commonwealth or the Parliament of Australia? They have shown their true colours, and they've taken their 30 pieces of silver. These are not honourable people. In fact, far, far, far from it. Oh dear. Australia's alarming fuel levels, it's staggering. It could see our nation shut down in less than a month. There are fears that supermarket shelves could be stripped bare and hospitals won't be able to get medication, and all that will happen under the fraudulent corporate government that you, me, and everybody else out there have allowed through complacency. 24 days of diesel is simply not enough, Mr. Patrick said in the discussion. But that's not the only concern. Australia's oil supply level is also reaching a near record lows, with only 48 days left of net oil imports as of July. This is last year. An international agency reporter said that figure is far from the 90-day requirement which Australia has not met since 2012 under the International Energy Agency. Liberal and Labor have left us sitting on a bloody razor's edge since 2012 for energy security. We've got bloody oil we can pump out of the ground up in the Cooper Basin that is so clean you can basically put it in your diesel car straight out of the ground. There's more oil between Cooper Pedy and Alice Springs. There is trillions of barrels, but don't you dare pump it. There's oil and gas in Bass Strait, but oh, don't you dare touch it. Oh no, we'll be reliant on everybody else and we'll pay a fortune for it and we'll sit here on a bloody knife edge because we have allowed lunatics, arseholes and the mentally ill to sit in positions of power. Now keep in mind, don't get me wrong, I am no fan of Morrison. As far as I'm concerned, there's not a gallows high enough or a rope short enough. But anyway, he bought 1.7 million barrels of oil back when it went cheap. Labor sold it in 2022 because we didn't need it. Now, all right, 1.7 million barrels, maybe there was 2 million barrels. That might have been a couple of days' supply for us, but they sold it, right? The strategic reserves sold left the nation vulnerable by careless so-called leaders. Now, I've got Malinascus in here. Why? We got an election coming up in South Australia next weekend. Malinascus is tied by the umbilical cord to this lunatic called Albanese. They operate out of the same back office, the back office of Labor. Chris Bowen, this nupty, right? Truly, he's a post turtle. He's got no idea what the hell he's doing, how he got there, or anything else, and he got no idea how to step down. Now, Malinascus is going to the polls. Labor's great, fantastic. Well, I tell you what, I think it's time to send Labor nationally a bloody message from South Australia that will send shockwaves around the bloody country. Let's send the entire incompetent Labor movement from the party room to the backroom power brokers to the bloated public service a very simple message. Get out of our lives. We, the Australian people, withdraw any and all support for your destruction and treachery. Get out. Look at this. This is the Malinascus. This is the great Peter Malinascus, the snake man. You see, he loves the serpent. South Australia said 64% at the referendum said no to the voice to Parliament. What did the snake man do? Bring in a voice to Parliament here in South Australia. So some people get more say in Parliament than others. Some people get to vote more than once. Is that right? No, Peter. Peter. Oh, no. No, Peter. Send Labor a message. We said no. We bloody meant no. Now piss off. But Peter is in for people, the millionaires who play with balls. Peter's got a fascination with balls. And he built a golf course, tore a heap of trees out of the parklands. But if you want to take a tree out of your house yard, oh, Lord help you. But anyhow, Peter wanted to play balls with his millionaire mates. Then he built a football oval over in the Barossa, whilst the farmers here in South Australia were in drought. Their stocks were starving, and he withheld 120 truckloads of hay. I believe 11 farmers committed suicide. Well done, Peter Malinascus, the serpent man. And we now have builders operating here in South Australia to ease the housing crisis. And when you get a closer look at this, you would be horrified at the standards. There's no inspection on them. I tell you what, go to Mark Aldridge. He's a local politician, an independent. Go to Mark Aldridge's Facebook page and have a look at Raj's building program. and the state government sits silent. Let's send Labor a huge message. I don't give a rat's who you actually vote for, but don't vote for Labor. And for God's sake, don't vote for Liberal, because it's the left and right cheek of the same arsehole, and all you get out of arseholes is shit. Let's send them a message via Peter Malinaskis that we've had a guts full. The entire government system is corrupted. Everyone sitting in Parliament hasn't sworn their oath. The judicial system is corrupt. The Governor-General is corrupt. And our energy superpower that we are of the world, we need to have access to it. We will not, right? We will not take this anymore. We've had an absolute guts full. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Dwyer. I am a little fired up. Now, please understand, I don't advocate for violence. But when common sense fails, when thousands upon thousands upon thousands of letters and documents and requests and demands go unanswered, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the President of the United States, said, when a government refuses to give the people a peaceful remedy, they are inviting a violent revolution. Australia, I do not want to see this country fall into a violent revolution. But let me tell you this, as old as I am, if it does, I'm the man out the front with the flag. I'm the man out the front, standing up. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to send these bastards a message. It's plain, it's simple. We will not stand for this crap any longer. You have a great day. Take care. Save fuel. We'll see you later.